Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are tuning in from. This is a BS Buddies podcast. That's your host, Ian. I'm your host, Joe. And today we were given, not really, a section of a convenience store where we get to put whatever we want in the aisles. So this is going to go amazing.
This is going to be the world's worst convenience store you ever seen. On a side note, that would be hilarious. We're just like, surprise inheritance. We bought a convenience store. The assembly line is coming to life. Just.
I don't think the
Oh,
assembly line
man.
should be anywhere near. I think it'd be like assembly line food, like on the rollers and stuff. Like that's the
It'd be
food.
like if the assembly line restaurant ever came to life, it'd be like, what's that amusement park that some dude just built personally himself and it had like no safety inspections or nothing. And it was
Krabby
like just,
Land on
yeah.
SpongeBob.
And there was like the thing where like these kids were like going through this loop de loop slide and you'd like smack your head on the top of the roof as you came through. And oh my god, that if the assembly line ever came to life, that's what it would be like. We'd have to have like a no litigation clause that people would have to sign like in blood before they're even allowed to enter the restaurant.
So we're gonna go back and forth and just add things to aisles and see what happens. Ian said he's got some good ones, so I want to hear his first.
Oh, I've got a great start to this. Okay. So we've got a section of this convenience store. And I think the first thing we need is a big sign, right? That's like right over top of our section, and it's literally going to be called the convenience section, or like like a little slogan that says like low on time, try the convenience section. And so the very first thing that you're going to see is there's going to be those like floor conveyor belts that they have at airports that like you can step on them and they just like bring
Yes,
you.
where is this going?
So it's literally gonna be that, and it's gonna, like, take you through our aisles, right? And then, like, once you get to the end, it'll just deposit you right at the checkouts so that you can check out all your and they'll like, we'll have, like, a little waiting area line so that, you don't just have, like, 15 people piling up on top of each other. But my theory here is that this is literally for the quick shopper who doesn't have time to look through aisles. And like you'll go and you'll stand on these little conveyors, and then through each aisle will have signs telling you like where each item is as you go through. And you're like, all right, I gotta do this. And you'll just step on and you'll just speed through the aisles and you just gotta grab things off the shelves and throw them into your basket, and then it'll dump you at the end. And there's no possible way for you to get back around in the front. Like if you want to go back around in the front, you have to check out, leave the store, and then come back in through the entrance. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like sprinting on this treadmill thing, like, oh crap, I forgot toothpaste. Just like just booking it, and everyone who's coming in behind you is like, get out of the way, asshole. Just like trying to throw you into the shelves.
This is like
So
Wall-E, but convenience
y-
store.
yes. So sign convenience section. Treadmills. Oh yeah, baby. I'm liking this so far.
At year's end, we really got to go through your notebook because it's not like you fully write out sentences on what we're talking about. It's just paraphrased.
Oh, it's all paraphrased so much. Like here, this page just has pork butt, beef Wellington, bad resolution. No clue. Your power tools to 1800s Rome. And it just like so much stuff. So much stuff.
That'll have to be put in
All
a
right.
museum someday.
Convenience section, treadmills on the floor. All right, starting off strong. Oh, we should pick a good speed. Should we make it like should we make like 5 miles an hour and just be like there's like a little like 6 foot section like right before the treadmill starts. Like, all right, you better use this 6 foot section to step on the treadmill because once you're on, like if you fall down, that's on you. Just dunk,
I
dunk, dunk,
I
bouncing
got
off the shelves as
I
you
got
fall
something
down and
better.
rolling. All right.
The speed changes daily. Anywhere from 2 miles per hour to 5 miles per hour. So like you get the person that like is an everyday convenience store goer. Like you're keeping them constantly like, oh,
Literally
sweet.
on their toes, guessing
Yes.
what it's gonna be.
There's going to be diehard people that are like memorize. Like there's no specific pattern, but they could just see how like the little seam in it, how
Yeah,
fast it goes from one item to the next. It's like, oh, 3 miles per hour today.
we'll put like a little yellow dot at like every 10 feet so that they can see like whoom, whoom, whoom. Oh, that's the 5 mile an hour one. You can tell because there's 2.5 seconds in between each dot pass.
Yes.
Like,
The diehards.
oh, oh yeah, oh yeah.
So did you want to
All
put
right.
the first item in or should I?
Yeah. You know what? Okay, so first item, first item. What's
So
one of the first things people would grab at their on
does
their
it matter
experience?
because it's us? Like,
It has no meaning. There's
okay.
literally, you
So
know, the theory warm milk passed through my head about 30 seconds ago when we were talking about the treadmill thing. I was just thinking, like, what if we had milk jugs, but they're not in a cooler? They're just sitting warm on the thing.
that's
And I
a
was
health
trying to think of a
violation.
good spot to interject that. So no, I'm gonna say definitively no meaning to the order placement of these things.
Okay. I'm going to have two sections on my side of the aisle.
Okay. All right.
So,
You've
like
got
the
two
first
sections.
4 feet or 5 feet if we're having 10-foot treadmills. I don't know. I'm not an
I don't
engineer.
I don't know how
Uh,
long these aisles are. It's just like imagine like a Dollar General. Like imagine standing in them little 2 foot wide Dollar Generals aisles, just singing along at like 5 miles an hour.
no handrails. So,
Yeah, none.
so for the first part of the section of this two section, we're gonna have duct tape,
All right.
but
Good,
it's
good, good.
only gonna be colored duct tape, just different colors. There's gonna be like one row of each. So if you miss your color, you're gonna have to
This
go
sucks to
all the
suck.
way back. And
One
then,
row of each. Now, so is this first section like literally, am I like just a wall of duct tape top to bottom? Is that what we're
yes,
doing?
but it's only on the one side because you got to pick the other side. So if
Yes.
you need
Okay.
a specific color of duct tape, then whatever you put on the other side, you better be good at grabbing it.
Yep.
The second section is going to be fishing lures. No fishing
Ooh.
line. We don't sell any other fishing stuff, just the lures.
Just the lures. Only crankbait. Only crankbait. Second session. Apparently, I can't spell the word section. Fishing lures. I need to write all this down so I can recap this for us at the end of the episode. For anyone who's new joining us, this is what I do. I write down our ideas in super duper shorthand so that way I can recap it for us at the end.
I don't know if you saw that as well, but there's a nice drawing of
Oh, yeah.
Ian
There's a
trying to describe his car fix last week.
Yeah, here. We'll bring this up here. This is my little rendition of a valve cover stud that I broke while fixing my car. I had to draw it out for Joe so I could really show him what I was working on here. Okay, so in my first section, I don't know why this popped into mind, but now that like it's here, I just want it to be to fruition. It's gonna be a slushy machine. Like I don't know why,
That's
but
probably the worst thing to put there too, because it's a conveyor belt. Hold on. Imagine how slippery this belt is on a daily basis. It's like
you
some dude's just trying to grab his crankbaits, and he just keeps slipping.
if you drop your slushy and you coat the conveyor belt, then everyone behind you is just absolutely screwed. But no, 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 no. Okay, so this is a fancy slushy machine, right? So what we'll do is we'll say that your slushy machine, the cups are like right there at the start, small, medium, large, whatever. So you got to grab one, and then the slushy machine for the first for the first section, it's gonna be on rails. So like it detects when someone steps on, and if you grab a cup or whatever, then the slushy machine is primed. And as you speed along this little rail, it's going to move along with you until it gets to the end of the section when it stops. And so whatever flavor you choose, stick your thing under, it just like power dumps to fill your cup until you get to the end of the thing. When it stops, and then boom, there you go. You got your slushy. And if you didn't grab a lid, that's on you. You fucked. That's your own fault. You're gonna have to figure out how to deal with having this slushy in your
So
hand for the rest of your trip.
so it's just me trying to picture it. It's just like a super long slushy machine where the nozzle just like follows you as you're going along.
I was literally thinking, like, imagine, like, you go to McDonald's or like any fast food joint, and they have like the fountain right there
Yep.
with like all the little things. So it's kind of something like that, but that whole spiel is just on a track. And so then, as you step on the conveyor belt, and move, that whole thing just. Oh
The
God, I
whole
skipped with my.
thing.
The whole thing
Okay.
moves with you, so you can stick your cup under, and then when you get to the end, it just stops, and then that's it. It goes no further. And so if you
Does it
took
go
too long
back?
yes, it
Okay.
resets.
Okay.
So then, yeah, when it's done, then it resets so that the next person coming on can choose theirs. So if you took too long to decide a flavor, congratulations, you now have a cup in your hand, and it's $3.99 for the cup. We don't charge for the slushy; it's the cup that costs. So if you bring your own cup, theoretically, you could get a free slushy out of the deal. But if you grab a cup and you didn't fill it with anything, congratulations, you're paying $4 for nothing, but a cup.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can hold on to the cup and then just bring it back in the next time you come into the store, and then you've got a cup.
Okay.
All
Um
right, so slushy
so,
machine
so we got
moves with you.
cuz I imagined like the whole aisle was the machine but the nozzle just like follows you as you go, which is
We
probably
could.
more energy efficient, but your idea is just way more energy costing and
This is
much
not.
more like it's going to break down a lot easier. So we'll do
I want.
yours.
I want people to have options. Okay, I want them to be able to. Because if we did yours, we could do like slushy flavor of the day, where you don't get a choice. You just either you want the slushy or you don't. You know what I mean?
Nah, your idea is good. We could have a mystery flavor in there.
Yeah, you would throw a mystery flavor, just a little question mark. Sometimes you hit it and mud comes out.
Still $3.99.
It's still $3.99. Okay. And
so
then section number 2. What could
so
section number 2 be?
are or do you want it to just fill the whole aisle and we'll go to the next aisle? So we got duct tape, lures, and then the slushy machine, just all on the left
Yeah,
side.
you know
Okay.
what? Slushy machine, whole section.
Okay. So then
Bingo. Got
we go down and then it loops us around to the next aisle.
it. You know what? We'll have a couple of things like on the end. So here, let
Oh,
me just
yeah, end cap. What do we got on our first end cap?
yeah, we got our first end cap. Now, so obviously, now I'll just tell you the way that I'm thinking about how this goes is that it brings us up, brings you to the right, and then brings you back down the aisle, right? So don't worry, I'm drawing. You can, yeah, give some of your ideas here if you would so desire.
I have a couple really bad ideas. But I think for
Hit
the
me.
end cap, because we want impulse buys, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, so for the first end cap you pass, it's going to be nothing but slinkies.
Nothing but slinkies.
Some are colorful, some are just the silver, but there's one size. It's not like there's small, medium, and large. It's one size, but some are the rainbow ones, some are not. So if you bring
So
your kid,
here's how I'm thinking the treadmill system works, right? Like you come up and then it dumps you onto this one, then brings you over and then dumps you onto that one, and then here's your aisles on the in between parts, right? So here's our end cap number 1.
slinkies.
Slinkies. Now, are they going to be the shitty plastic ones or like the actual good metal ones?
Both.
both.
Because
There's a mixture.
you got to have rainbow ones for the kids.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
if your kid tries to go back after you say no, like your
I
kid's
don't want
gone.
pistachio ice cream. Then why did you ask for it?
Because I just imagine, because I have a kiddo, you say no, they fight you, but you're fighting a child on a treadmill, trying to go backwards when there's other people coming.
Yeah,
Chaos.
very true. Very different. Now, what if we do slinkies on top and kazoos on the bottom? Right? Because the kids got to be able to grab something to you got to have some fun with a kazoo. I have a kazoo. It's upstairs. I could go get it and be real annoying right now.
I went to a music store a few years ago with Debbie, and that's what she bought, a kazoo.
Oh my god.
You know what, Adam? They're annoying. Go for it.
Going to a music store to buy a kazoo is like going to a car dealership to buy a bicycle. Like it just you're not wrong, but there's better options. You know what I mean? It technically qualifies as transportation, I guess.
That's the best quote I've ever heard. Or like in 2025, nothing will top that. Best quote of 2025.
Oh man. Okay, so we got slinkies. Here we got kazoos. Moving on to our second aisle.
We're 16 minutes in and we just hit the second aisle.
Oh god, this is the best. It's so fucking convenient. You'll be here all day going around just to get everything.
We need some treats.
We do need some treats.
Besides
the slushy.
Yeah, well, we need like food. I mean, we have a food section sponsored by the Assembly Line restaurant, but
to build a sandwich, and it's just all the deli items you can want, but you have to grab them and slap them up. We have an Assembly Line sponsored section. You pick out a piece of bread, you put it on a little tray. Same thing as a slushy machine. It rolls with you along, but then all your deli options are just like laid out like Subway. So if you want lettuce, you just have to like shove your hand in there and get a handful as you go by. And then there can be condiment dispensers, like on the like where your bread is moving down the aisle. There'll be like condiment dispensers, and so if you want it, you have to like hit a button as your sandwich passes underneath, and like mayo, mustard, ketchup, like just.
That's at the very end. But before we get there, first section of aisle 2, we're gonna have candy, and we're gonna have 100 grand bars.
All right,
that's
all
it.
right, all right.
That is it.
Nothing but 100 grands. Ooh, what about some Mr. Good bars sprinkled in there?
I gotta think of what that looks like.
They kind of imagine like Hershey's, but off-brand. I'm pretty sure they are made by Hershey's, but it's literally just like a
made by Hershey's.
Yeah, it's made by Hershey. It's like it looks the same as Hershey bar.
Yeah, just our red and yellow candy.
It's Mr. Good bars, but the color package is the same as the 100 grands, and they're just like randomly sprinkled in, so you don't know that you're getting a mystery. Like, oh, here's one. Oh, it's a Mr. Good bar.
They're all laying like, oh, it's kind of hard to tell with 100 grand because they're thicker. But I was trying to think of a way how we could disguise like what it is. So like you just kind of have to guess as you're going, especially on those 5-mile-per-hour days.
Yeah. You gotta, it's really. We could change it up to where they're at. You know what I mean? So like sometimes this section is Mr. Good bar, sometimes it's 100 grand. Like it just changes every day depending on how. Like when the guys come in to stock it, like our delivery people who deliver the product, we turn the treadmills off for them. Obviously, we want to give them time to stock. But like when it comes to the candy section, we're like, just take like the tub of candy and like give it a fucking toss down the aisle, and wherever it lands, It's like Candy Plinko, and you just got to deal or no deal as you're running down that thing. No deal! Wham! Well, you missed the rest of them. Sucks for you, bro. Now you can try again.
Who is 100 Grand made by?
I think it's Nestle, isn't it? Pretty sure that's Nestle because I think them and
I
like
don't
the
want the
Crunch bars.
images.
I think them and the Crunch bars are under the same.
The Ferrera Candy Company.
Ferrari makes 100 grands.
Nestle
Makes
produced the
sense.
100 Grand candy bar until 2018, and then they sold it to Ferrero.
Like Ferrero Rocher. You talking about them fancy little like
Ferrera. Huh? It says Ferrera Candy Company, and then it says Ferrero SPA. I don't know.
man.
Anyways,
Pick a normal name.
the two companies, because they're different apparently. That's all I wanted to know. It's it's like, hey, you guys can argue, you can stack your product on top of theirs. Just do what you guys want. Like, don't make it look good. Just get as many as you can.
Just get it in there. We don't care. The customers will figure it out on the fly. That's the whole point of this convenience store.
And then on the second section of the second aisle, we're just going to have tissues.
Tissues, yeah. I mean, you got to be able to wipe off your fingers from all the slushy that you spilled on there as you were going along. Some paper towels, some Kleenexes, a couple of different things in there.
Nope, just tissues. Just tissue boxes.
Just tissue boxes.
I don't need this idea expanded upon. Just tissues.
No, just tissue box. All right, just tissues. All right. So then I'll take my side of the aisle. I think the first thing I'm gonna go for is what does every convenience store have? You know, sometimes you're traveling in the car, you're like, oh crap, my phone battery's dead. I can't figure out when the assembly line is gonna open. Phone chargers. You need phone chargers and like those little car plug-in deals that go into your cigarette lighter and all that nonsense. And except there's no like labeling for like lightning versus USB-C. Just a bunch of cords dangling, and then like the second half of the section is like all the little plugins. Some of them have one USB, some of them have two USB, some of them are USB-C because it can't have everything be the same for some reason. So if you grab a USB-A cord and grab a USB-C plug-in, that's on you, champ. Guess you should have been paying more attention.
That's the second section of the aisle.
I'll say my section 1 is like split in two halves. You got phone charger cables and then the whatever. S1. Phone charger cables. And plugins. Bingo. And then section 2. What's some other things you might find in a convenience store? What's convenient to get, right? Huh? What about gloves? How about gloves? We need a section of some gloves. You know, sometimes you're doing some outdoor work or whatever. But
you're
only
you're gonna do one size, aren't you?
Even worse. Whatever glove you glove. So there's two sections to section 2 as well, right? One half is the right hand, one half is the left hand. No matching pairs. They're all different. Every single one of them. If you find a right hand one, there is no mate for the left hand. So you have to just grab two gloves that you're like, these will work, I think. You got a nitrile for one hand
for me.
And a winter work for the left one.
That's perfect for me. I would honestly buy two different gloves. It's like, oh, this one's green and this one's black. It's like one's also large and one's medium. I don't care. They look cool together.
You'll always know which pair of gloves are yours because they don't line up at all. All right, there we go. Gloves. One left, one right, no matching pairs. All right, Joe, we've made it to our second end cap. 24 minutes into that.
We'll do one more aisle after this, but Ian, I picked the first, or I guess we kind of split it. You had a Kazoo's late. Hmm. I
What could we add?
was almost thinking like chips, because like there's always just 1,000 chips in convenience stores.
None of them
But
are name brand. Zero of
uh,
them are name. It's always off-brand chips.
off-brand chips, and it's only salt and vinegar.
I was thinking only unflavored, like those like
Re-
a restaurant
regular,
salsa chips.
oh, tortilla chips that are just the regular ones, and then or salt and vinegar.
Yep, those are your only options. There's no condiments either. Like you don't get there's no salsa cups for you to grab, no taco sauce, nothing. Just chip, just only chips.
that's the that's our off-brand name, chip.
Chip, tortilla, unflavored. I write like a freaking government description website. Chips, tortilla, unflavored.
Redacted.
Redacted. Salt and vinegar. Salt and vin. Bingo. All right, we got it. Vinegar, you have to add yourself. There's a little squirt bottle filled with vinegar. We won't go that far. We won't. All right, Joe. Now we are on aisle 3. I didn't label aisle 2. That would be a good thing.
Aisle 3. You know what? I'm getting inspiration with something on my desk, which happens a lot with us.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to make the whole aisle because we've gone on long enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's going to be the... Why can't I think of the actual names? But it's going to be the tattoos that you...
Oh, like the sticker ones?
Yeah, like the ones you
Yeah,
get
whole
wet.
aisle.
Whole aisle is that. There was one gas station I went to where they had a little like spinning end cap and they had like arm sleeve ones. I'm like, I'm so tempted, but I'm going to be made fun of so hard at work for just randomly having an arm sleeve. It was like $20. It's like, man,
Huh.
that's like a free tattoo.
That's super cheap for an arm sleeve one. All right, so the whole thing is apparently I can't spell tattoo. Tatto stickers.
I think I was
All
also
right.
with family and I didn't want them to be like, why are you buying an arm sleeve tattoo?
What are you doing? No, you just send him a picture. Yeah, look what I did. Oh my god.
I honestly should do that. Send a snap to my parents and be like, I thought this would look good for the wedding.
Yeah, I can't imagine how long it must take to apply that. It'd take like 20 minutes. You gotta like soak your arm in a bath for it to stick on there or something. All right, and then hmm. Hmm. What's an assortment? You know what? Tools. People need tools, they need some tools to work on stuff. Sometimes you got projects going on and whatnot. So we'll just say that my side, the whole aisle, is just an assortment of tools, but they're all God, I can't even think of a good way to make this crappy. Like I can't. There's no organization to them. Like
It's
there's a hammer here, there's a ratchet there, there's pliers there.
I I thought of it like the whole section looks like a toolbox. And then you open up the bins and like all the sockets are just scattered. Like there's no organization to it at all. It's just thrown in there.
Tool aisle, but it looks like your dad's toolbox after a weekend of working on something that was making him extremely angry, and he just gave up on life after that. He's like, get out of here. And you're just like, oh, God, I'm going to have to fix this later, or it's going to be another ass beating. You know what I mean? There's a work
And
light, but the bulb is broken in there. Like, there's a, oh, God, jeez Louise, I'm dropping everything. Here's a ratchet with a 3/8 inch drive, but all the sockets are like quarter inch fitted, like nothing. No organization
and
to
just
that
have
bad boy.
signs that say we have plenty of 10 millimeter, but we don't have a single one.
There's none there. We've got plenty of 10 millimeter, but you can't find a single 10 millimeter anywhere.
There's just like
Well,
one.
what? Here's a random thought, but it's very evil. You know those little hot dog trays that you get at gas stations for like the hot dogs they have on the rotisserie things?
Like the
We'll have
little,
those.
the
Yeah, like
white and
the
red
red
classic
checkered
one.
things. Yeah. So we'll have all of those. We'll have like a stack of those at the beginning of the aisle, and it's whatever tools you can fit in this in this tray are free. Some people just grab like a handful of sockets and throw them in there. They're like wrapping the thing around a hammer and holding it with the hammer. Hey man, yes, it's free, but you have to grab one of the little hot dog things, and there's no indication that that's what it is or that's what it's for. Like they're just stacked there, and anybody who's unwitting enough to grab it and do it, hey man, free tools. But there's otherwise zero indication that that's what that would be for.
There's always someone who brings the stack to the register empty and says, "Hey, I think someone just left this here by accident." So you take it away for the whole day.
And you're like, oh yeah, thanks. We'll put this away, and then yeah, you just set the whole stack to the side
And then once you
reset it.
close, you put it back, and same guy comes in the next day. Hey, like this is back in the same spot. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird that it just keeps ending up there. I don't know how that happens. Yeah, thanks. We'll get that put away next time, and then yeah, just take it back behind the counter. It's like eventually someone will have to come across the idea for it.
I
Nails
imagine.
of all various sizes. You got like 8 penny mixed with 16 penny mixed with ring shank mixed with screws, and it's just all in like a big box, and you just gotta like grab a handful as you go by.
Just
All
imagine,
right.
like, if we're there running it and like our employees, like, we
Would
don't
hate
even
us.
tell.
Would
No,
despise us
that's
so
not
much.
what I'm saying. Like going back to the hot dog holder, like we don't even tell them that's what it's for.
It's a secret. It's like the
And it,
secret menu at a fast food restaurant. You gotta be in the know to know.
like someone comes up and brings all the sockets, like they ask us for help, and then we act like we're doing stuff, and it's just like we add it in.
Just throw it in there, like, oh yeah, no, yeah, this is totally supposed to be here. All right, Joe, we have made it to our final end cap. End cap number 3. What's a good way to end out our shopping experience in the convenience section?
I I have some ideas. Like I was thinking liquid plumber, or just like some cleaning thing at the very
Blinker
end.
fluid and exhaust bearing. Let's make it blinker fluid on top and exhaust bearing.
I need you to
Or we
go
can
in and
make
get
it.
me blinker fluid. Hey, they had some.
They
What?
have it. Or we can make it medication, but it's just all Pepto Bismol or laxative. It's all Miralax. Like,
Half Pepto, half laxative, depending on what you need.
is that what we're going with? Medication?
Yeah.
In cap
Liquid
3.
plumber could be a medication, but
There's one row of liquid plumber at the bottom. Half lax, half Pepto. One row of liquid plumber.
and then this takes you onto the conveyor belt with the deli that Ian said earlier, and then you're good to go.
And then deli conveyor with sandwich maker. Condiment squirt bottles, got to put that in there, otherwise I'm going to forget about that. Bingo bango bongo, and then bread moves on tray. And then you were deposited at the end at the checkout, and you pay for everything, and then you can only go out the exit. You can't go into the rest of the store. It's all roped off, and
Yeah, we have coolers with milk and drinks, but there's just no way that you can get to it.
they're right there, not even accessible from the rest of the store. What's that for? Oh yeah, that's You have to ask specifically for it, but there's no signs or anything indicating that you can get it. You get a free gallon of milk
You
on the
have to
way out.
pre-order it.
there's a button at the very start, pre-order gallon of milk, or pre-order this drink, pre-order that drink, and then you just get it on the way out. Oh man. All right. Well, would you like a recap, Joe, before I throw my microphone on the ground again?
Yes, that would be awesome.
All right. So, welcome to the convenience store with the handy dandy convenience section, sponsored by the assembly line because they have their little deli thing in there. So, treadmills on the floor. The speed changes daily, anywhere from 2 to 5 miles an hour. If we're feeling really ritzy, we'll bump it up to 7. You know what I mean? Really get that workout in there.
Black
Your first
Friday.
two, yeah, Black Friday, it bumps up to 7 miles an hour. We should have put batteries in somewhere. Didn't even think about it. Oh well, next time. All right, Joe, your first two sections. Your first section is duct tape, all colored. There's only one row of each, so you got to be quick when you grab it. Your second section is full of fishing lures and no other fishing supplies. No fishing line, no fishing rods, nothing. Just lures. My section for the first whole aisle is the slushy machine that moves with you. You got to grab your cup at the beginning, pick your flavor as you're going down, and the cup costs $3.99. And you paying for the cup, not the slushy. So you could get a free slushy if you bring your own cup. No buckets. If you get a bucket, we will just take the bucket from you, dump it in a drain, and hand it back to you. It has to be in a cup. End cap number one when you get deposited on the end roller. Slinkies and kazoos. Obviously, you need something for the little ones who are with you. Moving on to the next aisle, Joe, your first section is candy, a mix of 100 grands and Mr. Good bars with zero organization at all to them. They're just kind of tossed in there. Section number two, tissues. Just a row of tissues. No one knows why. My section for this aisle is phone charger cables and plugins. It's a half and half, but once again, it's all just random. You don't know which one's for Samsung or iPhone, and your plugins. Some of them are USB A, some of them are USB C because we feel like being evil. Section two is gloves, right half and the left hand half. No matching pairs between them, and all different sizes. So hope you grab the right one. Our second end cap is chips, tortilla, unflavored, and salt and vinegar. All off-brand too. No recognizable name brands. Aisle 3, you made your whole aisle tattoo stickers, Joe, or Tato stickers as I have it spelled here. Mine is a tool aisle, basically like a giant toolbox with just everything scattered amuck in there, nothing, sockets all over the place, ratchets, a box of nails and screws and everything all mixed together, and the little hot dog trays at the beginning that you can get free tools in if you put them in, but zero sign indicating that that's at all what that's used for. People think maybe it's part of the sandwich thing at the end of the aisle. Our end cap 3 is half laxative, half Pepto, with one row of liquid plumber underneath. And then we get to our deli conveyor with your sandwich maker where you got to grab all the ingredients out and slap it on your bread as you're going down. And towards the end, you can hit the buttons for some condiments to just as it goes underneath. And hopefully you get it on there because if you miss, you got to pay for the cleanup. You get deposited at the end, you pay for your stuff, and if you were smart enough to pay attention and hit the pre-order for the any of the drinks we have in the cooler at the end, you'll get one coming out of there. But if you weren't, well, too bad. And then you have to exit the store and come back around again if you forgot anything. So that is our convenience section of our convenience store, sponsored by the assembly line. We're glad you could stop by. Hope we don't see you again.
But we hope to see you in the next episode. So thank you for BSing with us. Subscribe, like to become a bud today. We will see you next time. I honestly don't know what we're doing next time. So we'll figure that out and get back to you in the next video.
Yeah. Let us know some of your own ideas. What would you put in your convenience section of our convenience store? So you think long and hard about that, and well, we're gonna go take her easy now, and you should too. We'll see you next time.